Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What we're going to be doing today is removing the car stereo equipment from the Foxbody. Now I've already done this, so I'm just going to show you guys all the content from that video and talk about what exactly got removed from the vehicle. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching this. So let's start from the back of the vehicle. In the back of the car there is an old school amp, and we are going to see just how is all of this wired up, and I'm probably just going to take scissors and cut everything off. Let's see what's going on back here. So as you guys can see right there, there is the amplifier along with all of the wiring and everything that's in the vehicle. It's an owner's manual for that Alpine system that we pulled out. So if anybody's interested in this Alpine, hit me up in the comments. Also, we have these old school Pioneer TSWX 160s, 150 watt boom tubes. There's two of them. There's one there, and there's another one right there. So it doesn't get any more 90s than that. These, I'm not gonna lie, I think these were like $200 back in the 90s, if I remember correctly. They're literally boom tubes. There's no other way of explaining it. There's a good chance that if you guys want me to do a subwoofer install, there's a good chance I may reach out to my buddy over in the UK, Visual Ice, and we may do a nice hidden box right here, something in this area, so that way it kind of looks factory and has a nice base to it. But honestly, the exhaust on this car is ridiculous, so I don't think I'm going to be doing the exhaust. Most people actually just delete the whole radio because it's so loud. So let's go ahead and start disconnecting all of this. How's this thing on here? Velcro? At least he bought all nice stuff, man. This is actually pretty expensive stuff. This was an Alpine 3550. This was pretty good. Really good, actually, back in the 90s. So I can only imagine this guy paid a small penny to have his audio system converted over. But yes, he paid a fortune for all of that, but they did a crappy install. So at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, was it worth it? Let's go ahead, get all this unplugged here, and go to the front of the vehicle, cut the power, and pull all this whole thing out. And by cut the power, I mean cut this power, literally. I'm just going to cut the cable. I'm going to cut that and just pull it out. And, you know what, I could use this, especially if you guys live on a farm like I do. This could be usable for something later on down the road, but I want to put all new stuff in. So I'm just probably going to cut it towards that end, that way I can use majority of this cable for something out there. That looks so much better already. We're getting there. Here's everything that came out of the vehicle. The two boom tubes, the amp, which works perfectly fine, the radio, even that old school preamp. All of that works. Everything in this vehicle works. I just don't like any of it. And a matter of fact, I'm going to give a shout out to a YouTuber out there. This is a YouTuber that I know loves the 90s as much as I do, and he had an amazing Foxbody car, and I think that's where the majority of his subscribers came to his channel, and that is the Infamous Project. Those of you guys that don't know that channel, I'm going to leave his channel right here. That guy is super detailed. I don't know why he doesn't have more subscribers. I think it's because he had that really nice convertible that he built that really knocked it out of the park, and ever since then he's just been doing like regular standard Foxbody stuff, kind of like Foxcast. But that guy had a dope convertible, and he may be interested in all this. He loves 90s old school. He likes those ROH old school looking things. So maybe he'll want this, and if he does, I'll gladly ship it to him. If you're watching this, send me a message. Let's get back to taking all of this out of the vehicle. So of course, like I said, this guy actually spent a good amount of money on a good system. These are crystal crossovers. This was something of the 90s right here. Let me show it to you guys. Let's see if we can get some light in here. This is really, really cool, actually. I don't know how real it is. I don't know what, effectiveness. But that right there are quartz crystal crossovers. This was a big thing. It was made in Germany. This thing was huge in the 90s. Everybody that had a sound system had this, and they thought that this really took the sound to the next level. In my opinion, I don't think it does anything. I think this is a good case of snake oil, but this will be included in that giveaway with all that stuff. Maybe you guys have obsession for the 90s. That is definitely King 90s right there. So we gotta get those out. And like I said, another great sign of a quality install, you make a knot with the audio cable around a bunch of cables. That is a sign of a really quality install. So we're gonna get all of that out, get all those knots out of here, and start heading over to these speakers. Believe it or not, those speakers right there were not even powered up. There was nothing going to those speakers whatsoever. So he only had these up on the top, those over here, and the two boom tubes. Because most people, they don't know this about Foxbodies. That's a speaker and that's a speaker. And most people, when they install them, they don't know how to wire it. They don't know how to wire two speakers like this. Well, in reality, if you really wanted to wire a Foxbody convertible correctly, you need a 6-channel. You got, these would be your highs, those would be your mids, and then these would be your mids, highs combined. So what I'm going to do is actually have a component set up. So I'm going to have my mid there, and I'm going to run another wire going to my tweeter up here. I'm going to make a custom little bracket for the tweeter to go there. It will be flawless. I should not have done that. Now YouTube's going to ban me because I made the OK sign. Let's go ahead and get these crystal things out of here. So I ran into a strange little conundrum when I pulled out one of these quartz crossovers. I noticed that some wires had been cut, and now we're back to the chasing the wire game. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about right here. You guys can see right there, those two are like that, and I don't even know where these things go. It's almost like they're going up to the AC system. That doesn't make any sense. And then these over here, my guess is that these must have been like the factory speaker wires. But it's so weird that they're like going right up here into the AC module, and there's no colors that match those colors coming from the speakers. I mean, from the radio harness. So this is interesting, guys. This is very, very interesting. I really don't know where these things go to. Like these, oh, maybe these two connect like that. I'm gonna have to search and see if I can find where these cables are. Because if anything, I could just solder them on, but I don't want to just cut them off if I don't know what they go to. I'm gonna try my best to figure this out. So the secret to finding out where the cables go to is you search, you search, you search, and you never give up. And what I mean by that is I was determined to find out if this was of any importance, if this was a danger for me to have this just free hanging here like this. After extensive amount of searching, check this out. I found the factory connector up here. Look at that. White with green stripe and green with orange stripe for the little 3.5 speaker. And that's this color right there. So those go to there. Then where do these go to? These actually, these gotta go to the door. But then where do these go to? Oh man. It's like somebody really messed up this wiring bad. Well, more searching. See where these things go. Alright, so after some extensive amount of searching, I finally found out that all of those are speaker wires that were cut completely. There's no way to reconnect them because the distance of the wires that were cut were removed from the vehicle. So I'd have to rerun whole new wiring to the speakers, but the good news is I'm not reusing any of that. I'm running all new wires to all of the speakers. But the way that I could tell is after I got this off that loop, I traced it back to in here, and then in here I started tracing these wires, and these wires feed to this. So it looks like right there is a wire color change event that happens, and then the wires going from the radio harness to the doors are completely different colors. This is something that I discussed when I was working on Mercedes, that do not trust the colors on here because the colors at the doors typically change, and it's usually because this radio harness is assembled somewhere else and that is assembled somewhere else, so they just match it up that way. So we're not going to go ahead, we're not going to freak out. There's no reason to freak out. As a matter of fact, if I really wanted to, since these are all just speaker wires that are here, I could just unplug it and take this out of the vehicle, because we're not going to be reusing any of this whatsoever. So 9 out of 10, that's what I'm probably going to do. Just going to take this out of the vehicle entirely, because I'm not using these cables, and I'm trying to take out as much trash out of the vehicle as possible, because later on down the road when my son gets this car and he's older, I don't want him thinking, you know, oh, my dad did a janky job installing everything on this. I really want this car to be pristine for him, and it's gonna live its life more than likely in storage, because yes, this is gonna be a little channel announcement. Yes, I do plan on returning back to the Mercedes world. I think I made a bit of a mistake jumping over to Ford. The Ford community does not seem to be the same as the Mercedes community. So I think I'm going to be going back over to Mercedes. So this is the converter to cable, and I made really sure that this was what I thought it was before pulling it out of the vehicle. I'm going to show you guys, just to show you that this is definitely just the speaker wire changeover. Let's go ahead, call it quits for today. I think that's going to be it for today, guys. We accomplished quite a bit. We did a lot. We got out all of the boom tube stuff. We got out all of the amplifiers. Everything's out of the vehicle, which is really, really good. It cleans it up, makes it look a lot better already. I left the power cable going from the firewall through. I need to take that out because he has it wrapped around like an anaconda around the steering column. He also has the speaker cables wrapped around the steering column as well, so definitely that's coming out of the vehicle. But for now, I'm gonna stop. This is a big step for me, because now all I have to do is sound deaden the interior and then run all of my new speaker wires to all the locations and put in the new amplifier and start putting in all the JL speakers into the vehicle. So next time I see you guys, we will continue with the process of removing some more wires and then throw in the sound deadening. I really want to get that part done, but I'm also trying to see if I can get a hold of some dry ice and alcohol, because dry ice and alcohol, you mix them up in a bucket and then you will apply it to the factory sound deaden stuff, and this will literally come off super easy. But I'm having an extremely hard time getting a hold of dry ice and alcohol. It seems like with all the shortages in today's world, those are going to be items I won't be able to get. So worst case scenario, what I'm going to do is just do my best taking this off by hand and then just lay new sheeting over it. That would be my worst case scenario, but I have to make do with the resources that are available today, and that may have to be my case. I would love to do this correctly, but I'm not going to wait 50 years for alcohol and dry ice to go back in stock. And in case you guys are wondering, the dog is getting much bigger.